lot of brands reach out to me and ask me if they think, in my opinion, if serialization or RFID or some sort of tracking method would help them combat some of their higher level FBA sellers. So I wanted to explain a couple of things that I've observed with that. For one, I've noticed that Amazon is still commingling a lot of inventory. So a lot of people, even those who pay extra for it, by the way, we've noticed as recently as a couple weeks ago, I've verified that Amazon is still commingling inventory even when it's supposed to be kept separate. But in a lot of cases, the sellers don't mind if the inventory is commingled with others because it enables a quicker shipping time and a faster turnaround. It helps them to fulfill the orders faster. The challenge that you run into when trying to figure out and use an RFID or some level of serialization, your lot and batch, whatever it is, to trace this down to the source, is that once it hits Amazon, your source basically gets scrambled. You know what happened initially, maybe what distributor or wholesaler it went through, but once it gets to Amazon, you could legitimately getting a product that was put there by you personally or by one of your authorized retailers or distributors or by a different seller that you're targeting than the one that you've gone after and purchased a product in order to get your serial number, hologram, RFID because of the fact that it was commingled. Because of that, there's no way that you can actually tie that down to which FBA seller it came from. So the challenge you run into with that is that you're no longer able to use that as a means to cut off that source because you can inevitably wind up, basically it's not good evidence. It's effective to, how do I find out who broke into this house, for example? And when you go in and you take fingerprints of the house, the first thing you need to do is be able to remove all the fingerprints of everyone that was able or allowed to be there. Well, in this case, you can't do that because everybody's fingerprints are on it. Those who are allowed to be there, those who aren't. So you don't have the ability. All you're doing is basically taking a fingerprint at random that may or may not have been from the right spot and then trying to use that to convict the party of being the one who, metaphorically broke into the house. The unfortunate part of it is when you're dealing with your toughest sellers that are selling through FBA, using RFID or different methods of serialization in most cases is not an effective way to be able to tie that back either to the seller or through the leak in your supply chain.